Good morning, students, or really whoever is watching this video. Hope you're doing well. Shameless, no shame at all, War Eagle right here. Shelly walked in a while ago and saw me wearing this shirt and said, that's cutie, and accept that part. So you may agree with her, you may not agree with her, but anyway, War Eagle. And so I swear I'm gonna stay as War Eagle, okay? So hope you're doing well this morning. This is part 3 of our little devotional series, short videos, less than 3 minutes, less than a minute on the first video and second video respectively. And so part 1 was the gospel. We talked about the balance of the 4 parts of the gospel there, and now briefly, and we're talking less than 3 minutes, Lord, that Jesus lived a perfect life. He died blamelessly. He was buried, without much fanfare, and through his death and then ultimately his resurrection, we have victory. So that's the balance of the gospel. Yesterday I asked a question about why is Good Friday so good. I posted my thoughts on it late last night about that, and so the whole question was why is Good Friday so good, and we said it was through my response to that, it was the doorway to grace. I did have a few people text me and respond, and so thanks for the feedback from those who did. And so this morning we'll move right into our third little part. Again, we're seeing some alliteration, the gospel, why so good. And this morning's devotion is the greatest. And I want to ask you another question. And I do want, I had people text me. I had some former students, chime in and just give a little bit of feedback yesterday on the question of why so good. This morning, devotion is the greatest. And I asked the question, what made and or what makes Jesus so great? What made and or what makes Jesus so great? And so I would love for you to drop me a comment, shoot me a text, and give me some feedback on that. I would love to hear from your point of view, what makes Jesus so great? I expect just general answers. He's my Savior, because He blesses me, because He died for me. I expect those. But I'd also love to hear a little more from your perspective about what makes Jesus so great in regards to the Easter celebration that we're in right now, as we've moved through Good Friday, Holy Week rather, and into Good Friday, and now we're celebrating Easter tomorrow, Resurrection Sunday. So what makes Jesus, or what made Jesus so great? And I'm going to give you my answer so I can kind of just let you see from a point of view of what we're thinking, what I'm just kind of the question I'm asking, and I'd love to have some feedback on. And so for me, what makes Jesus so great and what made Jesus so great in regards to the Easter story as described in the Gospels is centered around Luke chapter 9, verse 51. One of my former students, Brady Graves, shameless plug, what's up Brady if you're watching this, he responded to me yesterday through, I think it was on Facebook, on something I posted. He said, I remembered you always talk about Luke 9:51, and that is one of my favorite verses in regards to Easter, because it shows the heart and intentionality of Jesus. In that verse, he says he resolutely, as the day approached for him to be taken up, that he resolutely set his face toward Jerusalem. So for me, what makes Jesus so great, what makes the Easter story so great is, yes, we see the palm leaves and Hosanna, and we know of the brutality of the crucifixion, and we see the somberness of the time after his death, and then we celebrate the wonderful miracle of him coming back to life, the resurrection and the tomb being empty. But before all of that happened, you can see in Jesus an intentionality, a purpose, resolve, being resolute, that he knew what lay before him. He knew the happenings of the Holy Week before they happened. He knew the torture, the brutality of the cross. He also knew the power of the resurrection. He knew all this because he was Jesus before this all happened, and yet he still resolutely set his face toward Jerusalem. And so that's Luke 9:51, one of my all-time favorite verses, especially in regards to Easter. And so this morning I'd love for you to go read Luke 9:51, and I'd love for you to give me some feedback on exactly in your mind what makes or what made Jesus, in regards to the Easter story, why it's so great, why he is so great. So give me some feedback, text me, drop me a comment, let me know. And I just want to get the wheel spinning again this morning as part 3 of our little devotional series as we move toward Easter Sunday. What makes Jesus so great? The gospel, why so good, and the greatest. That's part 1, 2, and 3 of our current little devotional series. Give me some feedback. Love to hear from you. Talk to you soon, guys.